In today's video, this is how I know that I'm getting good at van life. What do we think? This is so bad. Any kind of slipping or sliding would lead to I made a huge mistake. Hello everybody, and welcome to another installation of things I've learned living in a van in the snow. I stayed at this hotel last night, like I said, and it was amazing. I got to take 4 baths last night, and I took 1 this morning, and I just feel so refreshed and clean and ready to take on this winter wonderland. Look outside. I have to say, it feels weird to start the video admitting that I took a night off from the van. I'm still having a hard time wrapping my brain around the fact that taking a break doesn't mean I've failed, but instead it means that I'm interested in pursuing this lifestyle sustainably and hopefully long term. Living in a van isn't a vacation, and it's surprisingly difficult to relax on a day-to-day basis, so if getting a hotel or a campsite every once in a while helps me switch my brain off for a day or two, I'm gonna run with it. This is how I know that I'm getting good at van life. I didn't even falter because I already had this place listed on my map, and it is perfect. I have service, I have neighbors. Oh my god, Finn, you are the cutest dog in the entire world. I spend the afternoon at my new home just relaxing and enjoying the great outside. It's always nice when you get to a place where you have enough space to just be alone, in nature where you have enough privacy to just talk to a camera without it being awkward as heck. So this is the Jackery 1000. They were kind enough to send it to me for free. This is not a sponsorship, and I will not be really talking about it for a long time because I want to use it before I talk about it. You know what I mean? For the time being, it's just kind of gonna be here in the background, which is what I think they had in mind. So, pretty smart marketing in my opinion. You know, when I got this, I was kind of in a rush, so I think I might have misplaced the instructions. I'll figure it out. 2-cord input. Do I have to do anything for it to charge though? Oh, it's charging. Oh, sick. Well, I suppose that the system is nothing if not easy to use. You don't even want to know how long it took us to get our solar system in the van up and running. So, because I am where I am, I'm in a no-flight zone. I'm not going to tell you why, because if I told you why, you'd know where I am. As I am future Mariah and I am no longer at this spot, I can let you know that we were on a Forest Service road right outside of Grand Canyon National Park, hence the no-flight zone. I spent the evening doing the opposite of relaxing. I actually took a whole hour to just build a snowman. What can I say? I appreciate pointless activities. What do we think? So, it's actually a little bit awkward that I made his bottom proportions large enough to sit on. This kind of feels a little inappropriate. That was kind of fun. I was a little bit hasty when it came to his face. There's a very large bird up there. Somebody asked me if I was worried about Finn with wild animals. The short answer is yeah, of course I'm terrified. Yeah, and based on the tracks that I've seen around here and the poop and the birds that are very large, Finn's not going to be off leash in this campsite. So that's fun. I've never been much of an extreme temperature gal, which probably has something to do with the fact that I was raised in a place where the temperature averages 65 degrees year-round. But as I've gotten older, I found myself entranced by the idea of seasons of fall foliage, spring wildflowers, winter snow, all that to say that although my van is not at all prepared to face winter conditions, when I saw the upcoming snowstorms on the horizon, I might have pretended that I didn't see them. Yeah, really setting myself up for success out here. I made a huge mistake. so bad. I've just made the largest mistake that I've ever made living on the road. Would you like to come see what's happening? Finn, run! Finn, run! Oh, pooping. That's pooping on camera. I was out of water, out of food, and my cell service had disappeared along with the sun, but it didn't matter one bit to me this morning. I felt like a kid on Christmas. My secret little world was silent, apart from the diesel heater keeping the van warm, and although the earth woke up and chose winter wonderland, the air lacked the chill I'd expected. Let's talk for a minute. Mother Nature's a fickle thing. I did not know that there was gonna be snow here. I actually checked the weather last night, which is why I'm so confused. The bad news is that the spot that I chose last night was one of the last spots left. And because it was one of the last spots left, it was one of the harder to get into spots. I had to drive through these two tall trees that my van barely squeaked between. That was fine when there wasn't any ice or snow on the ground. But now that there's snow, any kind of slipping or sliding would lead to a... I think I'm gonna go get in the car and move and see if I can slide around, brake, accelerate, whatever in the spot that I'm in to see how grippy it is. And if it's at all grippy, I think I'm gonna go try to move to a spot nearer to the entrance. Because this winter wonderland is great, but I'm not too keen on the idea of getting stuck. I don't know if it's the cold or the silence, but I 100% feel like I'm dreaming right now. Let's try to drive this, shall we? There are a handful of reasons that I'm extremely thankful to be making weekly videos about my life. One being that there are some things that you can only see in retrospect. So far, so grippy. And there are some hilariously embarrassing moments that would go forgotten without the ever-present camera on a tripod silently recording. This is one of those moments that I will never, ever let myself live down. I'm gonna walk these to make sure that they're not icy because that's my one worry, because it was kind of icy right there yesterday. This is a tree branch. So, as you can see, I start driving between the trees. I make it. I'm proud of myself. This dip is much larger in person, by the way, and I stop the van on an incline to move the camera to get a different angle of the scene. Like, are you serious? Yeah, I got stuck for the first time ever in this van, and not for something cool. So, here's why I'm frustrated. Because I know that when you have momentum in a sketchy area, you run with it, right? You don't just stop on an incline, but I stopped on an incline. I do have chains. I don't know how to use them. I definitely deserved this, so I put some gloves on, sucked it up, got the chains out, laid them out backwards, because who are we kidding? I ended up driving back onto them, decided to ditch the left side's chain, and then just like that... Although I'm mad at myself for getting stuck, I'm also proud of myself for not just giving up, because honestly, in any other moment, I probably would have just slept here for the night, which I probably still might have to. We don't know yet. Alright, well, I didn't film it, but I got out with one chain. I had to take my traction control off. I don't know what that does, but it helped. So now I'm just gonna drive like literally 5 miles an hour out to the entrance. Once I got myself out of that hairy situation, I sat down and wrote another list of things I'd learned living in the van over the last 2 weeks, touching on things from brakes to showers to chains. Hello everybody, and welcome to another installation of things I've learned living in a van in the snow. The first thing I learned, brakes don't mean that you've failed. I know I touched on it a little bit earlier, but I just feel like chatting about it for 10 seconds. It feels like there's this pressure to not stay at campsites, to be off grid all the time. And I'm not here to say that that train of thought is necessarily wrong. It's cheaper. In hopes of trying to put it into perspective, here's a metaphor. When you're living in a house and you get sick and cooped up of being in the house, what do? You go off on a day trip or a weekend trip or a week-long trip every year. Now imagine for a second what life would be like if you could never leave your house, or every single time that you went on a day trip, your home had to come with you. It seems like such a petty thing, but I've learned that breaking your life up into different places, like doing your work in a library and taking a vacation from the van and going on a day trip, or taking a vacation from the van and staying in a hotel. You can't just do everything in your van. Just like you can't stay in your house at home for 365 days straight and not kind of go a little bit crazy. Number 2, if you're going through ice, mud, slush, just keep moving, don't slow down. If you're scared, don't show it. You might get out before your tires even notice it's there. Seriously, don't stop. Number 3, you make a snowman by rolling the snow instead of like packing it onto each other. I didn't really show it, but in the beginning of making the snowman, I spent like 30 minutes for the first ball just packing snow on top of each other. I didn't realize that rolling the snow was 20 times faster. I'd never made a snowman before. Number 4, diesel heaters are worth the investment. I will say it again, diesel heaters worth the $120 investment. This heater is the Chinese diesel heater off of Amazon. That's literally what you search, Chinese diesel heater. I was a little bit weary before we installed it, mostly because of the difference in price between the one that I have and then the Espar D2 heater. I mean, it's like $1,000 difference, but my opinion as of now is that if you are willing and able to cut 3 more holes in your van, go for it. It's worth it. Number 5, Uggs are not proper snow footwear. A week later and they're still wet. Number 5, chains are a smart investment and they're not as hard to put on as I thought. This week was the first time that I put the chains on myself, but about 6 months ago, Coleman and I were in South Dakota and we did put the snow on. We did put the chains on to get through some very, very muddy mud. And then number 6, I didn't talk about this in the video at all because I just didn't find a way to put it in without it being boring as heck, but Planet Fitness memberships are worth the investment. I was a noob, and for 7 months of living on the road, I did not get one of the memberships. It's $25 per month. I thought that I was saving myself money, but in fact, I was just making myself mentally go crazy because I was paying per shower. Now, on the road, there are a lot of different options for showers. You've got laundromats, truck stops, national park campgrounds, and then gym membership. At least those are the 4 that I've heard of the most. The first 3 you pay per shower, which kind of incentivizes you to take as few showers as possible. The last option, gym memberships, incentivizes you to take as many showers as possible in the month to make your membership worth it. To put it bluntly, I was dumb for not getting a gym membership earlier, and I will never again not have a gym membership, no matter where I am. Anyways, that's all I really wanted to talk about today. I'm gonna spend the rest of the day uploading this video and then going and enjoying my time by myself in the middle of nowhere. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye!